Alright, welcome back. Welcome back. Last time, this is where I left you with a ship that's animating. And it's kind of cool. It's got the smoke coming off of it, and it can kind of animate as we go along here. But now we want to add a background to this image. We could simply just put a static background back there, but we can do a little bit better than that. We're going to use what's called a parallaxing background. The idea of a parallaxing background is basically to create the sense of movement, sort of an illusion. And we've got an example up here. This is just a basic scrolling example of parallaxing, where there's vegetation in the foreground. In the midground we've got buildings, and in the background we've got clouds. So there's a cloud there, there's a vegetation there, there's a ground there, and then there's the full animation altogether. So we're going to do the same kind of thing in our game. We're going to create a cloud layer. Microsoft has provided us with a cloud layer so that the clouds seem to move as we go through the sky. So there's going to be a cloud layer 3, a cloud layer 2, and a cloud layer 1. And we're going to combine all of those into one sort of parallaxing background cloud layer. Now, if we take a look at this, we can see that we've got the content they've provided us, which is main background PNG right here, as well as BG layer PNG, BG layer 2 PNG. So those are the three we're going to use. So just as we did before, we're going to create a new class for parallaxing background. We go up to Shooter, click on that, and we can hit Shift-Alt-C. Creates our new class. I'm going to call it parallaxing background. And we want to put some musings in there. Oops. That's what we want, is system, framework, content, and graphics. And of course, we're still in namespace shooter. So just like before, now we're going to go ahead and declare a bunch of instance variables for the parallaxing background. The whole idea here is that we're going to have multiple parallaxing backgrounds, and they're all going to be scrolling across. So I want my variables to reflect that. I'm going to create one texture 2D, which is going to be the image, the background image. Then I'm going to create a position for that parallaxing background and a speed that it's going to go. And eventually these initialize updates and draws are going to be populated with things that bring the texture up to speed in terms of initializing it and updating it as it goes through the game. First off, our initialize method is going to initialize all that stuff as such. We're basically going to load the texture path up, the texture that comes in here to the texture path, set the speed, set the position, and then set the initial positions of the parallaxing background. We're also going to need the tiles to be side by side to create the tiling effect as it goes. Basically, it's going to go across the screen. So there's going to be one frame here, one tile here, and then another one here, and then it's going to keep scrolling as we go. So in order to pull that off, put the following in the update loop. We say update, and basically inside of that update we're going to have the positions. We're going to update the positions of the background as it goes, and we're going to add by the current speed that we're going. So we add that X position plus speed, and if that has the background moving to the left, then we check that if it's out of view, to put it at the end of the screen. So we say if position I of X less than texture width, then put that texture at the end of the screen. Otherwise, if the speed has the background moving to the right, we check that's out of view and position it to start at the start of the screen. So we'll have it going across the screen one way. If it's going right, it starts at the beginning. If it's going left, it starts at the very end of the screen and goes forward that way, or goes backwards that way actually. And that's how the update loop can work. Now we just need to put in a draw method to actually draw the textures. And again, that's going to be just a simple sprite batch.draw textures, in that position, which has our vector 2 that we already updated, and that will just draw it. Next, we need to update game1.cs. We're going to need some new instance variables here, namely the main background, the background layer, parallaxing background BG layer 1, and BG layer 2. We're also going to need to initialize these. So we go down to the initialize function and initialize our new parallaxing backgrounds. Now we can go to our load content. So again, new parallaxing background, BG layer 1, BG layer 2 equals new parallaxing background. Now we can load that content up. The way that looks like is we're going to call initialize with BG layer 1. Notice that BG layer 1 is connected over here. BG layer 2 is connected over here under content. That's going to initialize those with those texture names, with that screen width and that speed. So -1 and -2. So both of these are moving to the left. And then we're going to load the main background as well. And main background also is a PNG sitting right here. So we're going to load that up as well. We need to update this. So we're going to go to where the update player was called earlier. I'm just going to go ahead and put after the update player but before the base class is called. So update BG layer 1 update, BG layer 2 update. Now of course we need to draw it. So I'm going to actually draw it before I draw the player. I'm going to do BG layer 1 draw, sprite batch, BG layer 2 draw, sprite batch. And that should be it. I'm going to go ahead and save some of this stuff here. Save early, save often. I had one little problem. This BG layer stuff needs to be moved up above base.initialize. So go ahead and put that stuff up above base initialize, and then you should be able to start debugging. Hit start debugging, and indeed we've got clouds, and you can tell how they're kind of moving to the left. The top layer moving slightly more quickly than the bottom layer, and then behind it we've got the cloud layer as well. So that adds kind of a nice look to our game. I'm going to pause here, and we'll continue with adding enemies next time.